Hello, welcome to listen what does Open SuuntoPlus mean? Built by community, powered by Suunto. My name is Janne Kallio. I'm here in Finland in Suunto leading our digital portfolio, so the features, tools that you are now have been enjoying, and of course now when we are opening our ecosystem, how we can actually build this together much better than in past. Now, before we go and talk in detail, what does it mean, what kind of processes, what kind of tools do you have, let's just have a short catch up. What is SuuntoPlus, so you understand where we are coming from. So, of course, when you think about Suunto products, you might be wearing a Suunto Race 2 as I am today. Of course, these products are ongoing manner being enhanced with the new feature updates. Pretty much nowadays, a quarterly, we launch new features that you can enjoy. In the same time, these are all accompanied by a mobile application which has enriched new features, new tools to plan and analyze all your training sessions. And then of course there is a long list of different partners, hundreds of different tools that you can connect, get your coach analyzing your performance or do a route planning with some outdoor app and so on. Then we have a SuuntoPlus store, which is within Suunto mobile application, where you can find various different kind of sport apps that you can use during the sports, as watch faces that you can use during the daytime. And many of these SuuntoPlus apps are also being used to connect to different kind of devices. Is it muscle oxygen sensors or core body temperature sensor or smart glasses or something else. Now today when we talk about opening SuuntoPlus, it means how to develop these apps, how to submit those in the SuuntoPlus store, and how to make the feature that you always wanted to have in Suunto possible. So SuuntoPlus today will be open. Open SuuntoPlus means in practice giving you tools to implement, so SuuntoPlus Editor, which makes it possible for you to create any kind of feature, place it in your watch, test it in real life. It might be that you go and swim with your app that you just implemented. By becoming part of Suunto Partner Program, it's also possible to then submit the SuuntoPlus apps for Suunto to be published in SuuntoPlus Store, and then you can tell your friends what you just made. Let's dig a bit deeper. What does this actually mean? So let's start from SuuntoPlus Editor. SuuntoPlus Editor is found on Visual Studio Marketplace. The SuuntoPlus Editor is an extension for Visual Studio Code. It's a simple extension that you can add for this code environment and start building your own tools. The links for the SuuntoPlus Editor, where to find it from the marketplace, are shared in different touchpoints in Suunto. In practice, the tools itself, you can see some of the screen examples here, makes it possible for you to develop, test, simulate, and also package these features into your own watch. So in principle, development itself is quite straightforward. The logic of the feature you can build with JavaScript. The user interface is based on HTML. So if you have been doing some web development, for example, in the past, this is very straightforward to actually start. Now, when we talk about SuuntoPlus Sport apps, these are only used during sports. So basically, you don't need to worry about life cycle of app. For example, when you start your running exercise, you have all the features available what you use during running, GPS, heart rate, all that stuff. But now your app can be part of it. So you don't need to worry about how the app is started. It's part of that sport mode that user is using. The data can be saved as part of the workout. And when the workout ends, also the app that has been used is killed. So it's quite simple, straightforward from the development point of view. When you are using the SuuntoPlus Editor, you can simulate the different data sources. So all the sport apps can utilize all the measurement data that the watch actually has. So you can use GPS data, heart rate, power, cadence, altitude, temperature, and so on. And then when you are doing some nice feature, you can also ensure that you can have certain specific settings which can be modified from a Suunto application. So for example, you want to have some target setting for the app, that's possible to utilize via mobile application. The data that the app will store is actually stored as part of workout. So you will be able to create graphs and summary values that then is available in Suunto mobile application. And the best topic here is, of course, that if you happen to create a own mobile application web service, this same data is available via Suunto Cloud API, which you will also have an access when you develop these portals. All the features can be, of course, previewed and simulated with the SuuntoPlus Editor, but then you can also put those into your own Suunto watch and test it in a live environment as discussed. And then once you are ready, you basically package the whole application in order to submit that for Suunto if you want to share the app for everybody else. Now, of course, the question is that how can I start? Where can I find information? The SuuntoPlus Editor itself has a different kind of documentation of how to do certain things, and also example features that you can actually reuse and see how it works. There is also additionally a documentation in API zone about SuuntoPlus, and then we have built a own place in our forum, so Suunto forum, where you can read and ask questions from other developers. So there's different discussion threads for helping you out there with you have some specific questions. Now, in order for you to actually publish the app for general audience, there's a couple key steps that needs to happen. First, you need to join our partner program. It's not a heavy thing. You go to suunto.com, welcome partners, you click apply button, and you add few key details in our web form. In order to be passed as a part of partner program, there is also a requirement that you need to sign our API agreement. Since with joining the partner program, you actually will get also access to our cloud API. Once you have once you have done this, we will send you a message where you get an invite to API zone, which has been live since I think 6-7 years now, which I have been using for integrating different application services to our platform. But now this same place, which you can now go and check it out. It's apizone.suunto.com. The API zone is also used to submit the SuuntoPlus apps for Suunto. So you can see here the screen where which shows the form, which is in your own profile in API zone, where then you are asked to provide the banner image, the screen image, the text description that will be illustrated on the app on the SuuntoPlus store, and of course the feature, the package that will be added to the store. Once you do this, we will check that the contents are correct, contents are okay, and then we approve your app to SuuntoPlus store. So then anybody else can also download the application. On SuuntoPlus store, all the apps can be found from a section called Made by Suunto Community. That's already there. That's existing category. And there are already apps that has been built by the community. So live tracking, park run, breathing exercise, sorry, I was almost forgetting what was it. So different tools that has been created by the community during the last year, which we have been placing on the community side. These were originally implemented based on discussion with individual developers and providing the same tools that you have now access already earlier than we are opening this, but now, yes, we are open so anybody can start to build. You will have a possibility as a user to provide feedback for the developer. The feedback goes directly to the developer themselves. So if you write a feature request that, hey, why doesn't the app store this particular parameter, or why is this kind of interaction, that's sent directly to the developer who actually submitted the app originally. The app developers who are creating this can always update the app themselves directly to the SuuntoPlus store without any delays once it has originally been published. So new versions can be coming as frequently as it's possible for the developer to actually do that. Now, the examples that I just shortly listed, these are the ones that we have had already before. Parkrun is using QR code to register to the parkrun races. Rugby referee was a good example of a innovation by the community. It's for application for rugby referees to see the home and away times and points and so on. These are examples of features that Suunto wouldn't have been building ourselves, but the community in their own sport, in their own use case for feeling that, okay, I actually need this. So that's great. Now we have been able to get these ones out. Live track is an example of feature that you can share your live location with your Suunto device with a companion app which is associated with this live track app. It's a good example that some of these apps can be actually system-wide even quite complex. Now, as we are coming live with this open SuuntoPlus, we also publish a couple new apps. We have had a university team testing the SuuntoPlus Editor and the forum and the processes here, and they have implemented themselves a few apps. So this is a Tennis Pro. This is a feature which is makes it possible to calculate every single point done in tennis game. Something that we have had a bit similar kind of app earlier, but this was much more simpler. So this is something that our testing team has been really excited about. And then something fun. You might know the sport called beer mile. The idea there is you drink a beer, you run 400 meters, you drink a beer, you run 400 meters, and fastest guy, is the best one. But you need to be a quite fast runner and quite fast drinker. So our guys did a beer mile application, which illustrates nicely on how also the user interface functionality can be quite rich. So you see the bubbly beer growing there on the watch screen. And then regarding a building a completely new, something different, Hex Hunter. So the gamification of sport is of course something that people have always been interested in. What could you do to help people to be more engaged in sports? A Hex Hunter is something about that. It's basically a tool or app or game within Suunto Watch which gives you points as you are covering more ground. So basically, based on the GPS location, the whole world is mapped in hexagons, and while you are going further and further, you are basically getting a more hexagons gathered, so you can basically test yourself how many hexagons you have been able to reach this week or this month, and basically share your friends that, hey, wait a second, I have been able to reach 1,000 hexagons in a month. The color coding of the hexagons is basically based on like if you are further from starting point, the different color there is. So this is a good example, again, something that Suunto in ourselves, we are pretty focused on certain sports and use cases, and Hex Hunter would be an example of that we probably wouldn't do ourselves, but it's great to see this kind of innovation in our watches. So all in all, when we think about SuuntoPlus from our perspective, this is basically trying to provide a platform for every athlete, every outdoor enthusiast to be able to provide and create their own features, what they have been missing. So we are truly trying to be open. We've actually created the first wearable open platform for own features already over a decade ago with Ambit family at that stage. And now with SuuntoPlus, we are finally there. Now you can get these tools to yourself and start building the apps for any purpose that you are needing. So I hope this is exciting for you as exciting as for me. I truly want to see what you guys are able to build, and yeah, let's then share the message for anybody else who truly wants to build something unique in their sport. Thank you very much. See you. Bye-bye.